Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to WizdomDropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. My name is Tonia, and today we are discussing Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth chart and basically looking at why astrologically MLK Jr. is so dope. So by the end of this video, you'll have a little overview of that, a little thought for reflection, a little chart analysis, snapshot, okay, into why this being was so profound as a person, as a soul, and their impact, those sorts of things. Okay. Now, before I do jump into it, quick note. This was actually a video request, so if you want video requests, you can put them in the comments down below, and I may or may not get to them, but this is what we're covering today. Also, if you're looking to learn astrology and you are an aspiring savvy cat astrologer, I am offering a course and I'm actively enrolling people in that course. So if you are looking to learn this skill set for you once and for all and have the ability to actually know astrology, practice astrology, understand birth charts, look at this incredible science art, right? Then I have an option for you. So please do book a call with me because I'm not going to be enrolling forever. And it is a 6-month program. It's super dope. And there's just a lot of different things that you're going to come out of there with that you didn't have when you started if you're a student. So anyway, moving right along, you can also join us if you're new to the channel, if you're a long-term subscriber. What up? And hit the like button, everybody, because it helps the channel grow. It helps more people see this content and ultimately learn astrology, because that is what we is about on the WizdomDropz platform. Now, with that said, let's get into it. So here is MLK Jr.'s chart. He was born, I believe, January 15th of 29. Yep, January 15th of 29. So as you can see here, he is a Capricorn sun. So that is important to pay attention to. He's also a Taurus ascendant, which is interesting. And as you can see here, this automatically, like, bam, like really pops off the page at me. This moon Venus conjunction in Pisces. Okay, so while he was a Capricorn sun, he had Mercury in Aquarius, and that is also extremely relevant. Also, interestingly enough, no pun intended, Mars in Gemini, which is currently transiting as of like this week. So Mars is exiting Taurus and entering Gemini. So hoorah to all that. Now, what though? What? So what? I just named a bunch of stuff. So what? So what? This is why. This is what. So this is why we're hyping over here. Well, first off, let's just look at the fact that his sun and his Mercury are both ruled by Saturn, and that Saturn in his chart is in Sagittarius. So Saturn is the planet of structures and systems, and Sagittarius is the sign of belief systems and philosophical systems and systems of thought that are culturally associated. So he was a person who was bringing not just the plight of Black people, but also the plight of people. And he was deeply spiritual. So you can see how all of that is really connected in his chart ruler. And so, well, excuse me, it's not his chart ruler because his chart ruler is Venus, which also explains why he's very empathetic and philosophical and spiritual. But in terms of really coming up against these systems, the dispositor or the ruler of his sun and his Mercury are in the sign of Sagittarius. That's how I should have phrased that. But speaking of his chart ruler, since he is a Taurus rising and Venus is in fact in Pisces, which is solid dignity in astrology, okay, Venus and Pisces, really good stuff. That gives him this entryway into empathy. And when you have a moon in Pisces, you're naturally more empathetic than other people. And, this is the generalization of this energy. And when you put Venus there, Venus and the moon actually don't love being together, but they are to the feminine planets of the entire planetary palette. So, other planets, like even Saturn and Mercury, they swing, so to speak. They can be feminine as well. People don't want to tell you that, though. You know how it is. But point being, he had this very feminine, loving, nurturing thing that we all know is like kind of compassion, for because of this Pisces moon and with his chart ruler Venus. So it almost like elevates the significance of that Venus and the moon up more, because the chart ruler is with the moon. And the moon is one of the key three, ascendant, sun, and moon, of all astrology. So that's really going to be telling us why he was so empathetic, why he was so spiritual. He was a trained, I don't know the nomenclature, it was like he was a minister or a pastor. He was like something up there. He had a doctorate in religious, studies of, or I'm probably butchering the exactitude of that, but he was a religious leader, a spiritual leader. And this is the two Jupiter ruled signs, everybody, Pisces and Sagittarius. And speaking of Jupiter, Jupiter in his chart is in Taurus, which is where, again, his ascendant is in. Anytime you have Jupiter co-present with the ascendant, it's going to elevate your presence in the world. Jupiter expands everything it touches. The ascendant is your interface with people. Also worth noting is that his midheaven is conjunct his sun. And this is an insignia for people who are going to be socially raised in profile. Because the sun is one's identity, one's career, one's plot line of their life. And when you put that on the midheaven, it's a very elevating point. It awakens information. It brings information to the surface. And so you put the ego, the identity, the plot line of your life with that point, and you're going to be more known, generally speaking, than others. Now, I do want to make sure that we touch on the fact that he had Mercury in Aquarius. Do y'all remember, I have a dream? I have a dream. That is the most badass speech. Why is that the most badass speech? He took that piece of paper and, like, I don't know if he tore it up, but he tossed it aside, and he was like, you know what, no, we're not gonna do this piece of paper, we're gonna do what I actually feel. And he gave this thing from his heart, which was like, I have a dream about this type of world where my kids can do X, Y, and Z, and they exist with other kids, and da da da, and it's not like this terrible tragic place that it currently is, as he's doing the speech. You know what I'm saying? That is very Aquarian Mercury. Mercury in Aquarius, Mercury's the planet of communication. Aquarius is the planet, the sign of advancement and innovation and going against the system in certain ways. It's a redefinition of the system in many ways. And so you put that Mercury there, that communication planet, he's going to go against that system of what he's even talking about, the underlying issues of the system. And also he's going against the system of his own words, his own paper. He's just like, no, I'm going to improvise this. Aquarius is very much so about like improvising or innovating or flash of lightning. It's like really quirky, and it'll just happen. It'll just do something whenever it damn well pleases. It kind of just, oh, now I got to do this. Like, this is my thing. That's an Aquarius kind of like workflow or conversation flow. And he was talking about how to like advance it. He was talking a vision. He was painting a vision for what it could be. And this is why he was such a visionary, because Capricorn has the capacity to build whatever they go out to build. Mercury and Aquarius gives you the capacity to dissect things at a very deep level, the fixed air, and put things into buckets of comprehension and understand how things go together and are connected. And you add that Pisces compassion super load on top of it in the 11th house, nonetheless, of general audiences, of public audiences, public groups, and social circles that he was a part of. That's going to amplify that further. This is his educator house, 9th house. He had the higher knowledge and the wisdom, sun in the 9th. Sun in the 9th people tend to be this very type of archetype, an educator and a teacher, a spiritual leader, because the 9th is all of those things. Okay. And then he had Mercury in the 10th, so he knew how to communicate in his career in order to be known as this revolutionary, forward-moving structure advancer. And then he had this deep empathy and this deep compassion that people knew him for and celebrate him for still, and know him for. So this is really just my overview of this. And Mars and Gemini, it gives him all those extra brains and ability to have the craft to word everything just the way. I mean, this is somebody who definitely has gifts just from that. And just touching on some of the aspects, Sun square Jupiter, that's a little rough for one's identity. He probably had a lot of conflictions about his identity. And I don't know if he actually was like not faithful to his wife, or if that was within their agreement or whatever, but like who the hell knows, because they try to slander everybody in history. You know what I'm saying? I don't know enough to know. But Pluto opposite the sun, maybe I do, because Pluto opposite the sun is definitely like prone to such kind of things like adultery or whatever. And then you add the Saturn square to the moon, and that's where you get a lot of the pain. Somebody with a very pained soul, Mars square the moon, look at that. That's a deep pain. That's a deep experience right there of pain, of having to fight, feeling like you have to fight. And this, the thing though, it's pain, but it gives him motivation. And this forms a T square, you see. Some astrologers would be like, that's not a T square. That's too wide of an orb. I'd be like, I hear you, but it is, I think, it's just, it is. Because look at how it played out. His moon was his emotions, and that was how he ended up going through and channeling what is otherwise a rage. Saturn opposite Mars is an absolute rage. You absolutely are enraged, you are in pain, you are struggling, you feel like you have to go up against everything and everyone around you. It is an uphill battle for Saturn opposite Mars people. And in such aspect of a square with his moon of soul and just like the being that he was, that's how he ended up channeling it though. And you're always supposed to look at the apex, that top point of that triangle when you have such a configuration, for how to deal with the energy. And we all know he did. He leaned into compassion big time. So man, wow, what a powerful chart, what a powerful being. With that said, I hope this brought you value, and if it did, make sure you hit that like button because it helps the channel grow. If you're interested in learning astrology for all y'all self once and for all, book a call with me down below. We will talk some details. And with that said, thanks for all the support. Through next time. Until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.